Colombia, $28 per day. The number of visitors to Colombia has rapidly increased in the last decade, making it one of the most popular destinations to visit in South America. So captivated by the country's charm, whether it's the mega biodiversity, friendly local people, low living cost, or all of the above, some have also been unable to resist making Colombia their permanent home. Colombia is a great place to visit if you're on a tight budget thanks to the affordable price of traveling here. On average, you can expect to spend around $28 per day if you're staying at hostels, which cost around $4 per night. Meanwhile, one night at a mid-range hotel for a double room cost almost as much as the average daily budget, so you can expect to pay around $50 per day if you're traveling as a couple. A meal at a local, mid-range restaurant is around $4 to $6. Street food and snacks can cost as little $1.50 to $3. A big factor that sets Colombia as the most affordable country in South America is how easy it is to explore the country on a budget. Peru, $32 per day. Peru's archaeological sites and breathtaking nature make it one of the most beautiful countries in South America. Among them is its focal point, Machu Picchu, the ever-popular Inca Trail, and the magical Sacred Valley, all of which never cease to attract visitors. A day in Peru, on average, costs around $32. A meal at a local restaurant can cost anywhere from $5 to $8, while street food and snacks are half the price, relatively cheap for such a thriving culinary scene that pretty much guarantees delicious food, even at street food stalls. For accommodation, you can expect low prices of around $7 per night at a hostel, but triple for a mid-range hotel. Bolivia, $34 per day. Being the home to the world's largest salt flats, El Salar de Uyuni, makes Bolivia one of the best South American countries to visit. The country's indigenous communities and ancient civilizations have left behind a fascinating history and cultural traditions that are still present today. To explore Bolivia conveniently, you'll need around $34 per day. Dining at local restaurants costs anywhere from $4.50 to $7.25, while higher-end restaurants in cities like La Paz or Santa Cruz is more expensive, with prices ranging from around $14.50. The gap also applies to accommodation. While hostel rates are around $5 only, mid-range hotels can charge $32 or more. Transportation can also be very affordable, with bus rides the most economical means of getting around the country, although, for safety reasons, taking a flight can often be better. Bolivia is relatively safe to visit independently, although we recommend traveling with friends, especially if it's your first time in South America. Ecuador, $36 per day. Ecuador packs a punch with its diverse attractions, from the unparalleled wildlife of the Galapagos Islands to the fascinating and rich culture. Budget-savvy travelers will love that a daily budget, excluding the cost of a Galapagos tour or cruise, of just $36 can go a long way in this friendly country. When it comes to food, basic meals cost around $2, but if you want more than rice and potatoes, expect to pay around $6.50 per dish. As one of the cheapest places to visit in South America, it's not difficult to find hostels in Ecuador, especially in popular tourist destinations like Quito and Cuenca. A hostel bed costs from $5 to $20, but private rooms even at hostels may cost anywhere from $20 to $50. Interestingly enough, Ecuador uses the US dollar, so the added bonus of visiting this country is that you don't need to worry about finding a good exchange rate. Paraguay, $40 per day. Being a non-traditional tourist destination and one of the cheapest places to live in South America, makes Paraguay an attraction of its own. Whether it's to see the colonial architecture of the well-preserved Jesuit missions, explore the vast, unspoiled wilderness of Chaco, or taste the tantalizing flavors of its one-of-a-kind cuisine, you get to experience all that with fewer crowds. With $40 a day, you stay at a hostel $8 per night and a 3-course meal $6 per meal. It's relatively safe to explore cities in Paraguay on your own, but the lack of other tourists can make it a very strange experience. However, we recommend joining a tour or hiring a local guide if you plan on navigating off the beaten path, particularly if you don't speak much Spanish. Argentina, $45 per day, is a land of breathtaking beauty and eclectic wonders, where soaring mountains and glittering cities share the stage with wildlife colonies, world-class vineyards, and the monumental Iguazu Falls. Its capital city, Buenos Aires, attracts millions of foodies and football fanatics alike, so it should come as no surprise that it's the most popular country in South America to visit. $43 should be your daily budget in Argentina. Basic meals cost around $6.50 on average, but if you fancy a dish at one of the local steakhouses, asados, in Buenos Aires or beyond, expect to pay at least $9. The home to 2023 World Cup winners is popular among backpackers and solo travelers. As a result, hostels are affordable around $5 per night, making them only the second cheapest after Colombia. However, mid-range hotels can be 10 times more expensive, hovering around $50, especially during the high season. Brazil, $48 per day. 60% of the Amazon rainforest lies in Brazilian territory, offering plenty of adventure tourism opportunities for those looking to head deep into the jungle. On the other side of the country, Brazil's long coastline means unlimited sun, surf, and sand, particularly in the vast seaside city of Rio de Janeiro, home to a thriving music, dance, and food scene, and, lest we forget, riotous carnival celebrations. A bowl of feijoada at a local restaurant usually costs around $7, while accommodation rates range from $12 for a hostel to $44 for a mid-range hotel. In total, a day in Brazil should cost around $48. As long as you stay safe, such as by avoiding city beaches after dark and keeping possessions close, it's doable to explore Brazil's touristy areas alone. But if you wish to dig deeper into its villages and rainforest, it's best to join a tour or be accompanied by a local guide. Chile, $74 per day. On average, a bed in a hostel costs around $20, while a mid-range hotel room is a lot more, ranging from $50 to $75. That said, Chile is packed full of brilliant hotels and guest houses, so it's worth being open to splurging a little where you can. The Chilean culinary scene is dominated by restaurants in the big cities, so you need to budget around $20 or more for one meal. In contrast, in small towns like Dalcayu on Chiloé Island, you'll find local markets offer mouth-watering delicacies at more wallet-friendly prices. Despite the higher cost, the plethora of activities, sights, and experiences more than makes up for it, from the serene, breathtaking landscapes of Tierra del Fuego to the lively picturesque coastal city of Valparaiso. And let's not forget, it's the second safest South American country to visit, meaning you'll face fewer safety concerns than elsewhere and be able to concentrate on the beautiful scenery and incredible natural landscapes instead. Uruguay, $80 per day. Nestled in Uruguay are several charming colonial towns that offer visitors a window into the country's rich history and cultural heritage. In addition to these historical gems, Uruguay boasts stunning beaches. To top it off, Uruguay was declared the safest South American country to visit by the 2022 Global Peace Index, making independent travel a worry-free option. Living costs in Uruguay are among the most expensive in South America, with hostels setting their nightly rate at around $28 and mid-range hotels costing at least double. Typical meals like empanadas and chivitos cost around $10 to $15 or even less if you choose street food stalls. Overall, expect to spend around $80 a day in Uruguay. Thanks for watching.